Look at you guys. I'm really happy to be here. You look so eager. I better say some profound stuff. So my name's Deborah. I'm a writer, and I'm a performer. Some crazy things have happened in my life. And when I first read The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, it was a few years after I'd come out of prison, where I spent a year. And that was a really transformative time for me. All sorts of transformations have happened over the course of time. And I've eventually ended up being this writer, performer character. At some point, I decided that I wanted to engage with activism and make the world a better place. When I first decided that, I really wanted to write a poem that meant something. Kill political agenda with embittered spittle, spin mind-shattering words of social inequality, start songs of freedom from the scratch of my pen. But who am I? In this stage-light glow, my first world yarn will never be understanding. Who am I with my $40,000 education to say the things that other people can't say while they run from their governments to countries with crossed arms, while they take rape in silence so no one is alarmed and kill children with chemical weapons but call it reform, while powerful people get paid so capitalism goes on? Who am I? Stumbling, drunk and alone, getting home on streets I know are safe to go to, while women are beaten to death for wanting to be schooled and acids thrown on their faces because they said no while they cover themselves from crown to toe. Since an age ago they were too tempting to own. Who am I with my globalized insides, my tickets for planes, money to fly high, while the native people of some lands end up destroyed because the bodies that invaded thought they had the right, since black skin is black and white skin is white? Who am I? Writhing in this web of apathy. I think I struggle, but I'm a product of the GDP, skipping fingers across Apple computer keys, yet nobody hears this poem but you and me. Who am I? A disbelieving speaker for change. The sun will burn out, so this doesn't mean anything. I'm trembling with the loss of all I'll never know, while millions and billions somewhere else but here are sick and starving, salvation yet to appear, and the painful state of the rest of my planet is granite I bash my weak head against while I dream futility as an activist. So I spiel this poem, drown in my thoughts, while decision makers never feel challenged with their wrongs. Then I decide, since I know I can, that the one thing I'll change for better is myself. At least I can change something. When I first wrote that poem, it was 2 years ago, and I really believed it. But now, it's different. I don't just want to change myself. That's selfish. That's not going to make the world a better place. Obviously, it starts with me, but I want to transform more than just myself. That's what activism is really about. And like I said, my whole life has been this periods of change and transformation. But what is it now that has put me in this position that I feel like I'm reaching some kind of tipping point, that I'm moving somewhere exponentially in a way I wasn't moving before? It's the understanding that I have power. We are never truly powerless. It's a terrifying thing to accept. I'm scared every day. I sit in front of my computer screen, ice-like, struggling to craft words into mind bombs. I have a tennis ball in my hand that I know is the future. And I think, do I really need a racket in order to hit it? What about if I just threw the ball? Maybe it would go further. What if I took the tennis ball, got on a plane, flew to Africa, and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro with it? What about if I took the tennis ball into a series of examinations for me to qualify to be an astronaut so that I could get into a rocket, fly into outer space, and discover previously uncharted galaxies? The possibilities are really endless. And because I'm privileged, I might even be able to be an astronaut if I wanted to right now. Knowing that I can do anything, knowing that all of us can do anything, that is power. And if we have power, then we are responsible for it. But it's almost easier for us to shrivel in apathy, to think that our vote doesn't count, to imagine that the words we write in the suggestion box will waft at the bottom of a page in a morgue-like storeroom somewhere, some intensely boxed situation. But believing that is not going to change anything. Believing that will lead to the slow decline of our planet, the death of all living things here, everything that thrives on it. Right now, we're in a place where all of the people who are in power, okay, maybe not all the people, but many of them want to use it to propagate their racist agendas, to borrow money to fund wars, to imprison 17-year-olds for making YouTube videos because they can. That's the situation that we're in right now. Are we just going to sit there and take it? When we can do something about it. It's easy to say, though. I wish it was like a 3-step plan. Number 1, realize that you have power. Number 2, decide not to use your power for evil. Number 3, small incremental steps towards the actualization of a spectacular reality. It's not that simple, clearly. I don't know what utopia looks like. Everybody's utopia is very different. I just know that I want to create positive impact. And because of that, I've come to believe that every small thing counts. That I'm an activist, that my art is activism, that me standing on this page stage, speaking to you, that is activism. Yet at the same time, there are many moments where I'm like, drowning in despair when I sing songs like, trap me in a cellar, I'll claw my way out, burst blood from my fingers, gasp air from the gauze. Trap me in a wine bottle, I'll drill through the cork when my belly is full and my teeth are stained dark. Give me a mirror, I'll smother it in paint, since I can't use my mind while it's wrapped in my face. Hold me for ransom, I'll swallow the telephone. Don't price me, I'm nothing. 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 Call me a name and I'll be at its birthplace. Call me a name and I'll burst from its loins. Call me a name and I'll bury its bones. But don't ask me to spell it, I'll get it all wrong. Smokescreen of death can't be moved by a song. Smokescreen of death can't be moved by a song. Smokescreen of death can't be moved by a song. No fairy lights will make visions appear. No fairy lights will make visions appear. No fairy lights will make visions appear. My soul scrapes the pavement while running away. Can't hammer my body in a place it will stay. Cast me in tarmac, a statue of road. Park trucks on my madness, so it's nowhere to go. I cry with the sun and I howl with the moon, while tree roots creep slowly, leaves wither slowly. Carve me in bark so I know my own shape, while my trunk breathes alive, while my branches burst veins. I look into mirrors but only see ghosts with guns in their hands. I look into mirrors but only see ghosts with guns in their hands. I look into mirrors but only see ghosts with guns in their hands. Don't price me, I'm nothing. 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 Don't price me. Sometimes I feel pretty worthless. Sometimes I feel bleak, wrapped in blackout curtains, eaten alive by a trillion hungry ants, food for sadness. Sometimes I'm disheartened by the people around me who only want to buy new yoga outfits and broke more ships. Sometimes I'm demoralized by golden-tongued cash registers, by fluorescent shopping malls, by the urban machine of Singapore, where freight train feet rush me to a destination, but I am carried cargo on an endless river. The terror of losing keeps me playing along in orchestras of malfunctioned song. My heart clock ticks, a traffic light countdown. My soul drum quickens to breathless heels. The beats we build are too fast for my chest. Rush hour rage leaping too far to catch. The peace I once had is running away in blurred horizon, in melting line. Why is our rhythm boxed and broken? Why do my fingers tap binary code? I want to stop the fall of a struggling calf, but you people roar like bursting fire. I want to listen to whispering leaves, but you people flee like there isn't time. Let me be free from this discordant symphony with beasts astray on growling reels. Let me live far from grids and steely teeth, crushing my windpipe with diamond leash. I shall hide in the forest, where the sound is right, where there is no man and no machine. I shall lie in the forest, where the sound is right, and listen to beings a part of me. I can run. I can listen from a park bench. I can hide in a cave tucked between the toes of a mountain. But if we want to change systems, we have to engage with them. So no hermitude for me, unfortunately. It would be easier though, kind of nice. But how do I not get lost? I'm going to share something that I do now. I have these placeholders, these small habits, actionable change in the everyday that keep me connected to what I'm trying to do, that keep me moving towards some kind of tipping point, in the tipping point direction. Obviously, just have a little disclaimer here, my habits are not necessarily the type of habits that are applicable to everybody. Everybody should have their own actionable change habits. Not everybody is comfortable with walking around with hairy armpits and everyone thinking you're a freak. That happens. Or walking around barefoot and getting stabbed in the ground with some asphalt. But that's my first one. Barefoot walking. So good. Feeling the soil, feeling the grass, even feeling the asphalt or the concrete. When I walk around without shoes, I'm physically connected to this world that we live in. I have a constant reminder that I'm a part of it, that I'm touching it. I feel grounded. Number 2, smiling at strangers. It's kind of cheesy, like everyone tells you to do that, yes, but it works, I swear. So I started doing this a while ago, and at first it was really intimidating. But then this thing started to happen where sometimes people would respond with more joy than I had even offered in the first place. Sometimes people don't smile back, but I soon learned that if I just mustered all of the radiance in my being and projected it at someone like a laser beam, then it would be very difficult for them to scowl at me in return. I do think I have infected several scowling aunties with this technique. The last thing, well, not the last thing, one of the final things is hugs. We live in a society which inculcates distance, which creates spaces, ways of socialization for us to be separate from each other. We sit in our keyboard fortresses, cubicles, separated from each other. We look for heartbeats in throbbing screens. We shake hands and double kiss each other without looking in the eyes for too long, because then we might actually meet souls. That's just how we do it. And I don't think it's the best way. So I decided a year ago that I would hug every person that I met for the first time. At first, I just went straight for it, but eventually I realized that I should ask first, just to keep things consensual. So, 2 weeks ago, I met a traveler in the airport when we were going the same way, and I gave her the customary hug. Later on, we became friends. She's even sitting in this room. And she told me that that hug I gave her was comfort that she needed in a time that she hadn't gotten it. She just separated from the man that she loved, off to different continents, and nobody had given her a hug. And that was a pretty big moment for me to realize that these habits which I've developed, which I'm kind of desensitized to on occasion, can mean something to someone else. Every small thing counts. There was a time I used to believe that I was just one person, but that time turned around, ran back into the past, quick feet flying, short arms flailing. That time turned into a fetus and was born into now. Matchstick eyes, blazing headdress, wings like a phoenix. Now knows that we are all one being, synchronized breathing. Electric people can start fires. Electric people can build higher. Electric people paint kingdoms like rainbows. Electric people burst alive, galvanize everything. Electric people burst alive, galvanize everything. Electric people burst alive, galvanize everything. I want to implore you to do something. Find your way towards your tipping point. If you're stuck, do something about it. If you're lost, pick a direction, walk towards it, away from the faulty circuit. We have no right to not do anything because we're sitting here in this air-conditioned room breathing wealth and health and nice cold air when it's sweltering outside. Do something. Tip your fire over. Watch it burn. Thank you.